rider soon. Ain't no more room left. So if you're playing the dick ride, a little late.
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, fight, fight. Yo, we going all the way this year, man. We going all the way this year. Philadelphia Eagles. Welcome to Philadelphia Eagles Game Day Special. I'm Poppy Montega.
It's your boy Big Roll.
Happy Sunday, everybody. What's going on, Big Roll? How you looking evil when we 4-0, player?
I'm a little perturbed right now, man.
All right, well, go ahead, speak your piece, bro.
Where you from, Pop?
What you mean where I'm from?
Where you from, dog? Just for the sake of saying it, where you from?
I'm from Philly.
Let me ask you a Philly question.
Okay.
If I show you this right here,
okay,
what's your first reaction? If I say, yo, what's this? What's your first reaction answer if I ask you that?
A water?
How much water?
$1 water.
Why does join $1.25 at the Chinese store?
Because it's 2022.
You know how corny that sounds? Hey, my man, let me get $1.25 water.
See, what you need to do, brother, is boil the spigot water and put it in the Frigidaire.
I'm a lazy motherfucker, boy. I ain't doing that shit. What up with you, man? How you feel, homie?
Excuse me. I'm well. How about yourself?
Hey, man, count my blessings. Thankful for the things I got. Keep it simple.
As we should.
For sure.
What a time to be an Eagles fan. What a time to be an Eagles fan. You see anything you like last week?
I would have if I would have saw the game.
Come on, man.
I'm at a fork in the road in my life, man. Working at night, doing my big exclusive network thing. Like, I'm on the go. I'm on the go a lot. Caught myself like this, Pop. Like, first quarter, I'm like, yeah. Woke up with the fourth quarter. I'm like, man, listen.
See, now I got to put you on the spot in front of the people, man.
Go ahead.
Now I got to put you on the spot in front of the people. So where did you get your information that we about to talk about from last week's game? If you didn't see it, don't tell me you just watched the highlights. Don't say I watched the highlights and I watched the news.
I don't watch the news. The news is depressing.
Okay, so
it's depressing.
So how you going to talk about?
But I did watch a couple of sports channels and whatnot. Listen to the radio. They gave a breakdown about the game. You know what I'm saying? Different sources. Like if I don't catch a game, it's rare that I don't catch an Eagles game. It's rare. But if I don't, especially doing what we doing now, I got to be caught the speed on what's the deal. You know what I mean? So,
well, we still don't have nobody in the comment section yet. So let's wait a little minute before I get into some of these stats. But we got some beautiful information to go over, bro. We got some beautiful information to go over, man. Like, if the playoffs started today, the true big exclusive, I wasn't going to go there, but, you know, I already told him in the group chat, I need you to holler at me after the show, good brother. I need you to holler at me after the show, good brother.
Y'all better leave that alone more before we start going at this on air.
Hey, man.
I know y'all ain't coming at my neck, and I'm telling y'all I'm on my grown man BI right now.
You want to do this on
mean
air?
Everything to me, man. They mean everything.
Do this on air? Because I'll tell you like I tell all my friends, and I'll tell you like I tell my children, and I'll tell you like I tell my woman. All I'm asking is communication. You can't communicate the information right on the show. How am I gonna pick up the slack in the middle of the game?
Let's go.
Oh, all right. You want to wait till after the show now?
No, let's go. I'm saying let's go. Let's get the show started, man.
Oh, all right. We still, yeah.
See if I miss a beat.
So, if the playoffs started today, we would have a first round bye. What up, Taj? Peace. Welcome to the show. If the playoffs started today, we would have a first round bye. Guess who else would be in the playoffs with us?
In our division?
Yep.
America's team. Is it America's team, man?
And guess who they would have to face?
They went to as a first round. They gotta face us.
No, because we got a first round bye. They'll be a wild card team right now.
Who would they have to face, Big Pot?
They would have to face the 49ers.
What? Oh, okay. What you think about that situation? You think about that situation right now?
Hold on 1 second. The Packers would have to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the New York Football Giants would have to face the Minnesota Vikings if the playoffs started today. Yeah, go ahead. What you was about to ask me? Which situation?
That's the situation in San Francisco. What you think about those Niners?
They have a great, solid team. They just a little too they off a little bit. But the 49ers should not be slept on this season.
Exactly why I asked you on whatnot.
Mr. Williams, peace, good brother. Travis Lyles, then the Cowboys will knock y'all out. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
You smell like?
Yeah, I smell.
You know he a Dallas fan. Them Dallas fans be delusional. I think they all drug addicts.
Bro, they can't wait for us to lose because they know they only one game back. They is sitting on their hands right now. They can't wait. And they think that coming back is going to be a game changer when in all actuality, that's going to throw the whole thing off.
They got continuity right now.
They better keep that unnamed boy at the head of the ship. AFC picture would be the Dolphins will have a first round bye. The Titans will be facing the Chiefs. The Bengals will be facing the Jaguars. And the Bills will be facing the Browns. I really do think that the Cowboys will be in Philly in the playoffs. Hey, Taj, we're going to find out, good brother. We're going to find out. But, you know, when it comes to the Cowboys, I have to strongly agree with the perception that Stephen A. Smith takes on with the Cowboys.
Which is?
There's an accident waiting to happen. It's like Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. You just wait and see. Every year. Let's go through some stats of the Philadelphia Eagles, though. Let me see what we got here. Second quarter team. Do you remember once upon a time where we couldn't score nothing in the first half?
At all.
Now we score all our points in the second quarter. Thus far this season, we've only scored 7 points in the first quarter, 14 points in the third quarter, 9 points in the fourth quarter. Guess how many points we've scored in the second quarter?
All of them?
85 points. Now, that could be viewed two different ways.
Yeah.
One way it could be viewed is we get up early, we milk the clock and coast the rest of the game. The other way it could be viewed is they catch on to our game plan, but they just run out of time in order to catch up.
Good points. Good points.
Now, even though we don't play, even though we typically don't talk about the team that we're playing this Sunday until the second half of the show, the Cardinals can't score until the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't scored a touchdown in the first, second, or third quarter this season, bro. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they've scored one touchdown in the first, second, and the third quarter this season, and the rest of their points come in the fourth quarter. That's odd, ain't it?
It's the weirdest, probably one of the weirdest stats I've ever heard. It's a weird stat.
So we're 5 weeks into the season, right? I asked this question. Go ahead. What you about to say? I asked this question in the beginning, and I'm gonna ask it again. How do you feel about this roster?
The roster?
Yes. Is this the greatest roster overall that we've ever had in Philadelphia?
Looking at every position.
Overall, Philadelphia Eagles roster. Is this the greatest team roster that we've had?
Yeah, because I'm thinking about offense on both sides of the ball and special teams. I would go there. I would go there on both sides of the ball and special teams.
A few ex-Eagles believe that there's one other team that's tied with this team. And that's the Buddy Ryan 91 Philadelphia Eagles roster.
A lot of talent on that squad, man.
A lot of talent.
That defense.
Now, what I will say is I believe that roster had a lot more greats.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't believe that overall that team had a better roster. What you think?
I can't call that, man. I can't call that. I'm going to tell you why. They don't have a full season under their belt yet.
No. Don't. We're not talking about performance. We're talking about overall the players that's on the roster. That don't have nothing to do with the season.
No, Pop, because that's what it's about. It's about how they perform through the whole week. Through the whole season, man.
Bro, you reaching right now. You arguing a point that don't got nothing to do with what we talking about right now.
Cool.
Overall roster. Overall roster.
Talent-wise.
All across the board.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to ask you this. Do you remember every defensive lineman from that 91 team?
From the 90 what?
91 team. The 91 Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah.
Every starting defensive lineman.
Clyde, Reggie.
You're not going to remember the fourth. Jerome and who else?
Was Harmon?
I'm asking you.
Can't remember the fourth.
Can you remember the whole secondary from that 91 team?
Was that
I agree with you, Travis.
Taylor? Vincent Taylor, Dawkins, and
Dawkins on 91? Dawkins was in school still. He was a kid.
I can't remember that secondary off the top of my head. You know, that's the Wes Hopkins era.
Yeah.
Well, Andre Waters,
Wes Hopkins, Eric Allen,
and Cookie Head Jenkins.
Okay. Now, linebackers.
91. I'm going to go William Thomas, B&E, Seth Joyner.
Okay. Mark McMillan. Was Mark McMillan on that 91 team? If he was the nickel. I don't think he was starting yet.
McMillan wasn't starting now.
Now let's go over to the offense. Quarterback, okay. Now here's where I feel like this current roster surpasses the 91 roster. Who was our running backs, bro?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
This is where I feel like we're stronger. You dig what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because we have three very capable, and they're showing that they're capable running backs. You dig what I'm saying? We didn't really know what we had with that running back system. I believe it was Heath Schuler in 91. We didn't really know what we was getting at running back with that 91 team. Wide receiver core. Herschel wasn't until 94, bro.
So who's in the backfield in 91? Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
It was Heath Schuler. Heath Sherman, I mean. Heath Sherman?
Sherman? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, Schuler.
Yeah, Heath Sherman.
And who else?
Fullback was Keith Byers. It might have been James Joseph, too, back there.
Okay. Well,
Keith
go
Byers
ahead,
was the fullback. Keith Jackson was the tight end.
Was the tight end?
Yeah, our receiving core was Calvin Williams, Fred Barnett, and I can't remember our third receiver.
Damn.
I can't remember our third receiver. But although we did have some greats, it was Schuler and Keith Byers, said Manuel.
Okay.
Now, although we had some greats, overall, I don't feel like that roster is better than this. That's some producer shit that's going on right now. We're going to ignore that. I don't believe that roster is as great as this current roster. That's why we're not even talking about the dream team, bro. We ain't even talking about the dream team. We mentioned them in week 1, and that was the last time we mentioned them. True indeed, Mr. Williams. We should have won the Super Bowl that year. Now, I want to go back to, I think it was, who mentioned coaching? Travis had mentioned coaching. That's another difference with this team versus the 91 team. Who was calling offense for that 91 team? We was a defensive-minded team.
Yeah.
With Buddy Ryan. The offense pretty much did what they wanted to do. Randall Cunningham went out there and did what he wanted to do.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because when he retired, no, I'm a Buddy loyalist too, bro. But he was defensive-minded. He abandoned the offensive side of the ball. You got to call it what it is. Now, Randall Cunningham, when he retired, he came back. He got some coaching out there in Minnesota. And we seen a Randall Cunningham in Minnesota that had he played in Philadelphia, we might have seen the Super Bowl before Dallas went on that three-peat.
He played on raw talent when he was here.
That's all it was, bro.
Raw talent.
That's all it was. The same thing they tried to let Wentz get away with. Remember, Wentz wasn't getting better each year, but he was still Carson Wentz. Same thing for Randall Cunningham in Philadelphia. He wasn't getting better, but he was still Randall. And he went Hollywood, started doing the commercials and all that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Like this roster is better than that roster overall. Now, I can't say we have as many Hall of Famers on this roster. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I can't say we have as many Hall of Famers, but overall, this roster is well put together, bro. All the way. Where's our weak point? Special teams?
No, I mean, I don't know the numbers. I don't know the numbers. But we ain't give up a touchdown yet.
True, trying to marry Whitney Houston, she turned him down for Bobby. Yeah, yo, Randall Cunningham went Hollywood. I would never forget when he popped on the cover of Sports Illustrated for Kids, dressed as a Rocket Man, and he had the football. Hey, Miss Stewart, Grand Rising. Travis Lyle said he wanted Cowboys to draft Wentz. Oh, my goodness. If they would have drafted Wentz, they may have showed up to the show because, well, I'm going to use the other argument. They may have showed up to the show because the argument that Wentz was bad because we didn't have an O-line. But as we all found out, it's because Wentz was holding on to the ball.
That was all Wentz. Yeah.
I just realized how much time we was into this. Eagles stats right now thus far into the season. Points per game. Our offense is ranked 4th. Total yards per game. Offense ranked 2nd. Passing yards per game. We're ranked 6th. Rushing yards per game. We're ranked 5th. Sacks per game. As far as being sacked, we've been sacked 2.3 times a game. Tied for 18th. Interceptions per game, 0.5, tied for fourth. And let's keep it all the way funky. Those 2 picks wasn't really Jalen's fault. Fumbles turning into points, 0. We're tied for first. Turnovers turning into points, 0.5. We're tied for first. On defense, we're allowing 17.8 points per game. We're 9th. We're allowing 277.3 yards per game. We're 3rd. We allowed 177 yards per game, 7th. 100.3 rushing yards per game, 9th. We average 4 sacks a game, which is number 1 in the NFL. 1.3 interceptions a game, tied for 7th. Fumbles turning into points, 1.3. We're alone at 2nd. Turnovers turning into points. We're tied for 1st. Here's another good stat. And since Big Exclusive want to be talking a bunch of trash,
wasn't sure who saw that. That's what I was laughing at.
Never no accountability. Hurts through it. It gets picked. He's at fault. If you never played organized football, once it touches the receiver's hands, it's no longer the quarterback's fault, sir. Yes, sir. Travis, top 10 in everything, bro. What's up, Shell Ryan? Welcome to the podcast.
That's coming from a Dallas fan.
I set this stat that I'm about to say in this portion of the show because I knew Big Exclusive was going to get riled up. Look, obscure facts to make y'all look good. Get out of here. Now, here goes something for the East Rutherford midgets. You ready? In his last 4 games, James Bradbury has allowed 10 catches and 23 targets for only 73 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
Where your flag at, Pop? Manny calling for your flag just in case.
Here you go.
Got it.
Come on, player. It's right here, baby. Now, highest point differentials heading into week 5. We're only in 2nd place behind who I think we will end up seeing in the Super Bowl, the Buffalo Bills. They're plus 56. We're plus 44. He said Bradbury trash. He ain't trash here in Forest Green, is he? He looks mighty good in Forest Green.
You got my vote on the Bills.
Yes, sir.
You got my vote on the Bills.
You can't wear zebra stripes without a whistle and a flag. You can't wear zebra stripes without a whistle and a flag.
Blow your whistle and throw your flag.
Get in. Here go another good stat. A.J. Brown this season has been targeted 35 times. You ready for this? Because, I used to play receiver, so I love this stat right here. You ready for this? 0 drops. We going into week 5, and my boy ain't dropped the ball not once in the NFL, baby.
He a monster on the ball. I've seen Hurts, maybe a few throws under a little short, but he's a monster on the ball. Like that should go up. He want to go get him.
Oh, for sure. Yes, sir, yeah. Taj, congrats for his new baby. For sure.
That's dope.
Here's another great stat. I know y'all heard about this one. Lane Johnson at tackle. Lane Johnson has played 918 snaps since the last time he's allowed the quarterback to get hit. 918 snaps since the last time he's allowed the quarterback to get hit. 1,105 snaps since the last time he's allowed the quarterback to become sacked.
Impressive.
The last time the quarterback was hit from Lane Johnson's man was week 7 in 2021. And the last time Lane Johnson's man got a sack was week 10 in 2020. Yes, sir, Shell Ryan. Hurts get to finally show the haters wrong. He's been showing progress every year, baby.
He's what you call a bookend.
Yes, sir.
He's a bookend.
You know what? They pointed out something about Hurts, and I thought I was the only one that noticed it, right? Hurts' emotion doesn't change, bro. His facial expression stays the same, whether we winning, whether we losing, whether we driving, whether he's being sacked. He just looks the same. What type of leader would you want, bro?
But you got to be emotionless, especially whenever you throw a pick. And that kind of attitude that he got, he'll never get down. Let's say we down 3 touchdowns. He'll always have that positive energy. Like, yo, man, we ain't out of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't out of this shit.
Short memory.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how about this? The Philadelphia Eagles with Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham are the only teammates in the NFL to each produce 3+ sacks and 1+ forced fumble this season. He got the Ray Allen face. Consistency is key.
Shannon hating hard, man.
We got the guests on deck. We're going to get to them in 1 second. 1 second. Let me get through the rest of these stats. Okay, our tight end leads the NFL in yards per catch and yards after the catch. That's something that we want to see. We got our old tight end coming in today, but we're going to see him today. Hassan Reddick, NFC player of the game, of the week last week for the defense. 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 tackle for a loss. He balling, bro. He balling. Now, the defense, 16 sacks, 10 takeaways, +8 in the turnover differential. They lead the NFL in opponent 3-and-out drives with 21, and opponent 3-and-out percentage with 47.7%. How about that? What you think about that, Big Roll?
I ain't got a damn thing to say. What am I going to say about that, man? It all looks good. It all sounds good. That's it.
It's good to be an Eagles fan, bro. It's what a time to be an Eagles fan. I think you are the spook who sat by the door, bro.
Say it again, man.
I'm starting to think that you the spook who sat by the door. Because you didn't seem like you heard any of these stats. You don't seem impressed by any of these stats. We ranked in the top 10 in damn near everything, bro. And you supposedly an Eagle fan. I ain't see your
you gonna stop questioning my shit.
Hey,
ain't
man.
Ain't no supposedly.
I see more action in the comments. I'm seeing more action in the comments than I'm seeing in the kitchen.
Dog, I'm listening to your stats and whatnot. You go through a whole lot to get them joints, and them joints is impressive. And I'm listening because stats ain't my speciality. Okay, you running it down. I'm
it might not be your speciality to find it, but when you hear it, you know the difference in good stats and bad stats. Come on, baby.
We solid. You want me to, jump up and down the whole nine. Look.
Hey, look in the comments, bro. Look in the comments. They saying the same thing, man. Come on, baby.
I don't give a fuck. Yo, bottom line is, ain't nobody going to question whether I'm an Eagles fan or not. I'm listening to your stats. Your stats saying solid. But what I don't want to get caught up in is hold up.
Easy, cowboy. Yeah, you real spicy today. I don't know what's up.
You want to let me finish?
You cool?
All I was going to say was, I don't want to become a Dallas Cowboy. Because during the season, all the Cowboys statistics look all good. But when the playoffs come around, then the shit change up.
Bro, it ain't about becoming a Dallas Cowboy. This is the Philadelphia Eagles game day special. We are supposed to be diehard Eagles fans, which means we supposed to be enjoying why we the best team in the NFL, player. We are the best team in the NFL right now, and you acting skeptical. Yeah, sip your water. You done got cotton mouth with all them lies. Meantime, in between time.
Yeah.
We got a special guest in the back. And we talk about some quarterback play. This guy right here has come a long way playing quarterback. This guy right here, since I've known him, has faced a whole lot of adversity, a whole lot of naysayers, and he went out there and he played his game. I had the opportunity to almost coach him for a team a few years ago. Well, I will say I did get to coach him for a few months. The team didn't never get to play a game, but for the few months that we were together, I got a chance to see his work ethic. I got a chance to see his leadership, and a lot of things that I had heard about him that how your reputation precedes you. I found to be false when I looked at it with my own eyes. I found him to be a little farther along than some people had assumed. One thing I noticed that I coach a lot of my guys, and I didn't have to coach this guy. This was no face, no name. A lot of players get caught up with who's on the other side of the ball. And when I was coaching him, I realized it didn't matter who was lined up against his receiver. He was going to play quarterback how he played quarterback. Since then, he's going on to play in bigger leagues and establish a name for himself in the football world, the football brotherhood, the football sorority. I can't say it too much more. He's played in the fan control football league. Some of you guys may have heard of that. For the Glacier Boys, he's played alongside, I believe, Terrell Owens for a small amount of time, and he's not done yet. So, with no further ado, I'd like to introduce our special guest, quarterback Chris Barron.
Yo,
what's up, Chris? How you doing, bro?
Chilling, bro. Gonna
welcome to the show, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys.
Real quick, we're gonna ask you a few questions about yourself, and then we'll dive into some Eagles football. You know me, I'm Poppy, co-host Big Roll here.
Yes, sir.
People in the comments. If you have any questions for Chris in the comments, make sure y'all put them in, and we'll get to them at the end of the segment. Chris, when did you know that playing ball was what you wanted to do, bro?
Man, probably when I was like 9-10 years old. Actually, no, I was 11. It was 11. So I was like right after the Eagles lost the Super Bowl back in like 2004. I remember I was like right next to my dad, and I was like, I want to be the quarterback who brings them a chip. Now, I obviously I wasn't that guy, but
right.
By that kind of catapulted like everything, knowing that like I wanted to play quarterback and I wanted to pursue a career to get to the NFL.
Okay. Would you say that quarterback is one of, if not the toughest and hardest position on the field?
Oh, by far. Because especially nowadays, before you saw a lot of these quarterbacks play back in the 90s and beforehand, a lot of them, or really most of them, were all statues in a pocket. Didn't really have any mobility. I mean, some of them did. But really, that was more of a mental game. It's become harder from the quarterback position now because now you have to rely not on your skill set up here, but also everything in between with your physical ability as well. So I would definitely say quarterback is not only the hardest position to play in football, but it's the hardest position to play, I think, all around in every sport because of how demanding it is.
Okay. You got anything for him, Big Roll?
Sir, how do you approach one of your players having a bad game? Like, let's say your left tackle's having a really bad game. You getting chased, every play. How do you address a player having a bad game like that?
So it really just depends who the player is. I faced that a few times in my career. It wasn't necessarily like a tackle or really just a player in general. I kind of try to take it from the perspective. I try to get to know my guys as best as I can because not everybody is going to respond the same exact way. You might have a guy who, is able to, like myself, okay, just calm down for a second, take a second, Now, what are you seeing? What are you getting beat on here? What are you doing wrong here? Like, where is he getting free the most? And then by me asking him where he's getting free the most, we'll make coaching adjustments based on that. But what I'll do is I'll take some weight off of his plate a little bit and know that, okay, if there's certain pressure coming from this side, then I have to be able to adjust to this side, not predetermine like seeing ghosts and whatnot, but maybe do a little bit of a technical change on my drop to kind of get away from the guy. I mean, I pretty much face every normal situation from the standpoint of getting in guys, getting a grill, kind of like being almost like a sympathetic, like brotherly type of figure, and then not doing anything at all, but just kind of changing up my game so that way they don't have to mentally take on too much on their plate because they already got a coach screaming at them. They already got players like saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. It's the same thing with me, excuse my language. This is the G-rated show. But not, I mean, you got to approach it from different players.
We got a couple questions in the comments. One of them is, how much of the game realistically do you feel is decided by QB play?
Well, it's a team effort, but I will say this: since the quarterback has the football in his hands more than any other player on the team, the likelihood of the game being decided by the quarterback is higher because of that. So, obviously you need to have help from all sides of the ball. In my career, I mean, having the Stags defense that we had last year was super helpful. And then when I was with the Glacier Boys, having a defense like we had, like the shutdown squad, that was super helpful as well. But it takes a combined team effort because at the end of the day, even though I'm touching the ball the most, I'm still playing with 21 other guys on my team. So, we all have to be on our stuff and on our craft.
How much has the position changed since you started playing quarterback?
Oh,
since you started playing ball, period.
Yeah, a lot. Like I was telling you before, back in the 90s, they were obviously statues in the pocket. And that kind of transitioned a little bit towards when I started playing.
Chris, your mic rubbing on your hoodie.
So that kind of changed a little bit when I started playing. But it really didn't change too much. I think back around maybe when Vic became the quarterback of the Eagles was when it really started to change up big time. And then, you started to see more mobile guys in the pocket, outside the pocket. And then some of the schemes kind of transition and change over time.
Hey, Ro, you see how he said it started with Vic?
Yo,
it really did though.
And as soon as he said it, I was like, yeah, damn sure.
I would beg to differ though. I would beg to differ. I would say that man. When Vic showed up, that's when we knew it was here and it could be successful. But it started with Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham, Cordell Stewart. You know what I'm saying? Like they was the first ones that we seen evolutionize the game like that. But when Vic showed up, it was like, oh, dudes can win.
Yeah.
Like this. And be efficient. And be efficient throwers too. Because
nobody
was expecting that. Nobody was expecting that when he came in and he took over when he did what
He's a mute, man. He was a mute when he was in the first time.
But here's the thing. At that time, back in 2010, he had the best quarterback rating next to Brady in the entire NFL. Now, I think Brady should have won it that year because of the numbers that he put up was crazy too. But Vic was like a really, really close second.
We have another question. I'm gonna slightly alter it a little bit, right? If you were talking to a young guy right now coming into playing football that wanted to play QB, what are some of the things some of the tools that you would suggest he come in with? I'm talking about tools like already a part of him, mentals, arm, whatever the case may be. What are some of the tools you would suggest he needs to be successful at playing quarterback?
So I would say this. I would break it down for him very, very small, especially in the beginning. If he's a younger kid, I would tell him be a sponge, and that goes for every levels, whether it's him or whether you play on a style that I do, because I see a lot of guys, they come in, they have one set way that a coach taught them, and then all of a sudden they get to this other team and they're coaching them up a completely different style way, but they're so stuck in their ways of what they learned from the coach beforehand that, you know, that's a way that they're going to play. That's the way that they should play. I had the same issue when I was a junior going to be a senior in high school. Like, my coach left, they brought in another coach. I didn't want to listen to him. I got benched after the first game, even though I was playing well. I mean, you know,
Right.
if you can take everything that a coach is saying to you, even if he's yelling at you, even if he's screaming at you, but if you can take the sides that are constructive and try to build off of that, then that's when that's okay. What happens and what's problematic is when you have a coach who's yelling at a kid, but he doesn't have any instructions kind of built behind it as well. So that's another thing that I would tell the kid as well, is if you're dealing with a coach that is not giving you instructions on how to get better, because that's what I would always ask. Like, okay, why are you making mistakes? And is the coach giving you the tools to help you succeed? Is he helping explain through this as well? So make sure you're working with the coaching staff who can develop you in season and off season. Be very selective with who you sign your kids up for. And this is for parents, with each individual coaching staff. And then as they get older, I would definitely really revolve it around the mental and emotional well-being of the kid, because at the end of the day, they have to come to football. They have to do all these things that their coach is requiring them to do. And that within itself takes a lot of stress, takes a lot of pressure, and it puts it all on their shoulders. If they don't have a steady setting to kind of come back home to, whether it's the family or the friends, if they don't have something positive, that's definitely going to affect them, especially in adolescence, because now football doesn't necessarily become that escape if it's too demanding and if it's too stressful when you got other situations to deal with on the outside, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
We got a question that just came in. The way the pocket QB is idolized, do you see Hurts, the way he's playing at a high level, can take this team all the way? Do you see it happening, be it this year or a year in the future?
Absolutely.
You heard that, Mr. Jackson? Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because over the course of my career, I think the biggest thing that I learned from my development as a player, the most important thing was leadership, and different ways of how to lead. I remember when I came in, and this is probably the stuff that you were hearing about me before, Spurs, was that, you know, I tried a little bit too hard in my leadership style approach. I was a little bit too direct. I had too much energy, which would ultimately then, like when things went well, I'd be all the way up here, and when things went down, I would be down below. I mean, I'd be messing up. So I think the biggest thing that I learned over time was there was different ways to lead teams, and there were different styles of methods of how to lead teams. So I think the biggest thing, because why I feel this team has a chance to go to the bowl and win the bowl, is probably because of the way that Jalen Hurts leads his team and the way that players respond playing with him as well.
Nice. Well, you're drinking something right now. It reminds me of a question that I skipped. Mm-hmm. Somebody asked, who has better coffee, Wawa or Dunkin'?
Oh, bro. Oh, man.
Come on, man. Rapid response, man.
It's too early for something like that. Damn, that's tough. Yeah, I would definitely have to say Wawa. They got more selections.
Wawa has better coffee. So maybe we, as Eagle fans, we need to push for free coffee at Wawa. I think we're in position to demand that now.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we're in position to demand that. What physical tools do you need as a QB to be successful in today's game?
I would still say that it's the same things that you learned as a kid, because Brady is still showing that you can still play that traditional style of quarterback. And we're talking about physical tools, right?
Yes.
I would say that how far you can drive the ball is a little overrated. I think that the things that really matter in a quarterback, Dan Marino talked about it before, is velocity, touch, and accuracy on when you're throwing a football. I think that having game awareness from the sense of knowing where to step up, step back, slide in the pocket. I think that comes with experience, and I think that that's a physical tool and mental tool at the same time. And then it really just depends on the way that you play and how comfortable you are playing. Obviously, work on the things that you're weakest at, but say you are a mobile threat and can move outside the pocket, I would say work on that skill set and hone that skill set even further so that you can be an even more dynamic tool for your offense. So it really doesn't, it's not just for one person, it's for multiple styles of quarterbacks to play different ways.
Now, to co-sign something you said about that ball delivery, when I did play, my favorite quarterback delivered the prettiest ball, and it landed so softly. But it was always, the timing was always perfect. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I could just run and stick my hands out, and it was like it would just lay right in my hands. And I believe that's what you're talking about, as far as like, you don't necessarily have to be able to heave it down the field, but you have to have some touch and some velocity control on that ball. You know what I mean?
You have to know how to layer it.
Yeah.
You have to know how to layer it. I mean, you know, that's what my quarterback coach always talks about all the time. You know, I've been working with him for maybe about 3 years at this point, and he calls it 3 camera level balls. So you have your camera 1 ball, which is, you know, you're putting that shit on a rope. And then you have your camera 2, which is in between camera 1 and camera 3. Camera 3, it's arcing all the way over the top and it's dropping in the bucket. But with camera 2, it's in between.
Right.
So you obviously want to put it on a rope, but you want to be able to kind of arc it a little bit, especially when you're throwing that whole shot fade, because that safety is crashing on that fade right away. But that being said, it's a quick throw, so you got to be able to hit it quick enough for the receiver to go get it. So
I see you throw a lot of those in the FCF this past season.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who is the most underrated QB in the game right now, in your opinion?
Man, I would say Carson. No, I'm just kidding. I'll mess with you.
You're not gonna watch that.
All right. Damn. I gotta say, I know Jalen Hurts is still getting a lot of praise, but I really don't think that he's getting enough talk in sense of how he can move the team with his arm and with his playmaking decisions. So I still think that it's Jalen Hurts. I really do. Really, I'm
gonna say he's a little biased because he's an Eagles fan.
But I will say this though. People, our Eagles fans are not going to like me for this, but I will say Cooper Rush is definitely in that conversation because of his decision making of where he puts the ball and where he's going with the ball. I'm really impressed by his game because a lot of times, you know, especially like they talk about Brady at points of his career. Oh, he's a game manager. Still got 7 Super Bowls.
Right.
So, and that's what Cooper Rush has been doing a great job of, and he's 5-0 as a starter. I mean, his numbers speak for himself. So I think that if he continues to grow week after week, like he's definitely going to be put in one of those conversations where it's like, Dak, I don't know why you're still there, bro.
All right, let's get into some actual Eagles questions now. All right. So how do you feel thus far about, you know, what we've been fielding versus coming into the season and now going into week 5?
So what you've been so you're talking about the team that we have versus
the team that we have now when we was coming into the season, you know what I mean, versus what we actually seen over the past 4 weeks. Like, how do you feel about the roster that we have and the direction we're going as a team?
Well, I'm not surprised based on the talent that we have on the team. Because look at everybody who they signed. You have 2 lockdown corners, and then you brought in somebody like Kaiser White, who, I mean, he could take over a game. Reddick can take over a game. And then the style of defense that they do play, you know, with that 3-4 front, just having a strong front 7. I mean, we already knew that they were going to have that.
Right.
I think what nobody else expected was how effective Jordan Davis has played. And I think that they didn't really. I knew that people thought that they were going to be good at running the ball because of their stats last year, but I don't think they would have expected them to have the same type of success that they're having right now. But it could go two different ways too, because you have all that talent, all that success, and then look at what happens with the 2011 team when they were loaded, but they couldn't play well as a team. This team can now play well as a team. So I think that it could have gone either way. That's why I don't really have any expectations of whenever people say like, "Oh, what's your score prediction?" or anything, because it could easily go the other way.
Well, speaking of playing well as a team, because we've been touching on this the past few weeks, do you feel as though that they've completely gelled yet? Because let's keep in mind the team was still getting put together up to a couple of weeks before the season started.
Right. I still think that they're getting an idea of who's who and getting a sense of trying to play with them still. And you're starting to see that growth a little bit. I mean, Hurts really tried to lock on the first week to AJ Brown, and then progressively as weeks went by, we're starting to see him spread the ball around, and I think that it's going to continue to get even better. And I think the main reason behind that is because we don't have a quarterback who's very complacent with Jalen Hurts. Like, he goes out there and week to week, he's trying to find ways on how to improve. And I think that, especially from my experience, if you're continuing to try to find new ways to improve week by week, whether you're in season, out of season, or getting ready for a season or whatever, as long as you're looking for ways to improve every single week, there's not going to be a ceiling that you can't hit, whether you're a team or whether you're an individual.
Right. Okay. Coming into week 5, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. Well, going into week 4, I still was a little reserved about talking about the future of this team because it was something I hadn't seen happen yet. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. And then we get down by 14 against the Jaguars, and it drew out those Eagles fans.
Right.
You know what I mean by those Eagle fans.
Oh, yeah.
And when it drew out those Eagle fans, by the end of the game, I was pleased with what I seen as far as us actually playing from behind and coming back and winning, not just barely winning. We came back and won. How do you feel about what you seen last week going, into the rest of the season as far as the complete ability of this team? Because, I mean, we both agree that we haven't seen their peak, but it's fairly early in the season to see that they can play from behind and not get down on themselves.
No, I agree.
What did that mean to you?
I mean, to me, that was probably the biggest statement too, because like you said before, we didn't have a chance to really see what they could do when they're playing behind. And when they're trying to come back from a substantial deficit like that. There's always going to be different challenges every week with every team. Doesn't matter whether you're in the NFL or whether you're semi-pro. So I just think that, they have a lot more challenges kind of come their way in different ways. But that's definitely promising to know that even when they're down by a big deficit like that they can still come back. Because when Wentz was here, we didn't have that faith. I gave up on that probably at the beginning of 2020, because I could definitely tell, especially as I get older, like, you can kind of tell who kind of falls behind different guys, and you could really see the team kind of start to shift away because you had somebody who really wasn't willing to do the extra mile to really be a better teammate and leader of his team. Now you're seeing a different result. Coming back to my original point,
and that's what they said.
Yeah, because I think the sky's the limit with this team. I think the sky's the limit with this team because of who they have a quarterback in terms of a leader that he is, and how dialed in everybody else is at the same time as well.
Somebody is calling me out in the comments. Said reserve, shaking my head. The lies. They don't know how big of an Eagle fan I am. So let me show you unreserved. If you are over the age of 25 and you haven't been an Eagles fan all of the 2000s, we don't want you. This year, we will go to the Super Bowl and we will play against the Buffalo Bills. We will win our second Super Bowl of the organization.
Now, is that you saying that?
Huh?
Is that you saying that?
Yeah, this is me saying it.
You gotta be careful because when
this me saying it.
See, we can't have nice things because of statements like that.
The only thing.
Come on.
Well, you know, he said I wasn't being reserved. Now I'm not being reserved. The only thing that bothers me. The only thing that bothers me, yeah, it's on tape. It's on tape. And this is the superstition part of me that bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, we on all the sports shows. All of a sudden, we being picked to win. Number one in the power rankings. If anything jinx us, it'll be that. It won't be us diehard fans thinking we're going to go all the way because we think that every year. Even when Coy Detmer was leading us, we thought we had a chance of winning it all. So it won't be on us diehard fans jinxing us. It's on all y'all bandwagon hoppers that were Buck fans one year, Rams fans another year, Patriots fans another year, used to be Cowboy fans way back in the night. It's y'all. It's y'all. So as a diehard Eagles fan, I want to be the first to say, and I feel like the rest of the diehard Eagle fans will agree, stay where you at. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show like us Eagles fans enjoyed the greatest show on turf. I ain't gonna hold you. When the Rams had that team, it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. I even had a gold Marshall Faulk jersey. Dang. Oh yeah. Had a gold Marshall Faulk jersey. But it was because it matched some other clothes I had. It wasn't because I was jumping shit.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remained a Philadelphia Eagles fan. And when we played those Rams, I pulled for my Eagles to win. I believe we beat them a couple of times too. More of the story is stay with your team. We don't want you over here in green. You got to bleed green to be over here. To go back to what I was saying earlier, as soon as we was down by 14, all the fake Eagle fans showed right up. See, I knew Hurts was going to do this and that. And bro, the ball is wet. It bounced off the guy's hand. Interception, pick six. It happens. It was the first quarter, first drive.
Yeah. I got admit, bro, like, you know, those fans that you are talking about, that's the reason why I like watching football by myself. That's why I don't really have much emotion like when something good happens with the Eagles or doesn't, because so when I had a refund check back in 2017.
I was 14, big exclusive. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, bet. So I had a refund check back in 2017, and it was from my school that I graduated from, and then I instead of using that money to pay off some of my debt, I went to every home game that year for the Eagles that they won the Super Bowl.
Damn.
But that educated me from the standpoint. I mean, I made that money back, so it's all good. But I ended up going to every game, and I learned from every single one of those fans over there. It was I didn't even want to associate myself anymore with just being a Philly fan, because I got so tired of watching the game and trying to analyze what's going on. I mean, you know me, guys. I mean, I'm over analytical, and then I got some asshole, some drunk idiot, who I'm just trying to watch a game, and he's in my ear screaming, and I'm like, leave me alone. So I can't deal with fans like that.
Look, big exclusive is he priming me, man. He priming me, Big Roll. Why are you doing that? He's saying we fugazi, man.
We just gotta play them boys, man.
I'm just gonna say it like this. I feel like that comes from actually playing football.
Facts.
When you actually understand what's going on out there, and you see a casual or you hear a casual fan say some BS, bro, you be ready to fight, bro. You be ready to fight.
Oh yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
That doesn't change like as you get higher into the ranks. You just learn how to kind of block it out and deal with it a little bit better because you heard it so many times.
Right.
If like defense just starts talking, if the defense starts talking shit, I'm just
wins.
like I start laughing a little bit.
I just realized what time it is.
Funny.
Chris, if you have to go, right now be the time. But if you can hang around, we'd love to have you. We got another hour of the show.
All right, staying, bro. Yeah, me and the dog are staying right here.
My man, it's the first time we got a guest that's rocking out. So this week we have the Arizona Cardinals, our old division rivals. I feel like it's still some sort of rivalry there. A lot of people forget that they were once a part of the NFC East when they were Phoenix.
Damn.
They were the Phoenix Cardinals, then they were the Arizona Cardinals, then they was the Phoenix Cardinals again.
Damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And we played a lot of hard games against Jake Plummer, Michael Pittman. I could go on and on. Vasek once returned kicks for the Phoenix Cardinals. And let me see what this say here. Out in the sports bars watching, I'll be ready to turn Draymond on cats talking trash. Facts, Jamal. I'll apologize later, but right now, shut up. See how you making stuff up? Rivalry. Nah, y'all shouldn't need no extra motivation. Yo, they was our rivals. They was our rivals, bro.
Jake the Snake. And definitely Larry Centers, man. Yeah.
Now, something that we're getting to see, and I wish this isn't a jinx, but we have to talk about it. Miles Sanders has been healthy thus far, and we've watching him produce. Last week, he had 27 carries for 134 yards rushing, averaging 5 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns. Hurts for the season is over 200 yards rushing and has 4 rushing touchdowns. The last unbeaten team in the season has made it to the Super Bowl since 2000, I believe 10 times.
We was one of them teams too.
Since 2000, the last unbeaten team has made it to the Super Bowl.
We was one of those teams.
The last time it happened, I believe, was 2019. But these are some of the stats that make Eagle fans feel good. The last time we started off 5-0, we went to the Super Bowl. That was the 2004 season. Now, this Arizona Cardinals team that's coming in, they can't. We said earlier in the show they can't put up points until the fourth quarter. But here's where the old Eagle fan in me still lives. We cannot let this team hang around. We cannot play down to this team because I've never seen myself play from a fan standpoint, but Kyler Murray reminds me a lot of how I used to play quarterback because I was fairly short, couldn't see, had to do a lot of running around to buy time with my legs, could heave the ball, could get away from pressure, but the whole seed thing and the whole timing thing wasn't a strong point because of the height. You dig what I'm saying? And if you look at the Arizona's offense, it looks like they're tailoring the offense to that, not necessarily to having an athletic quarterback, but having a short quarterback that has to extend plays. It appears to me that that's how they're adjusting their offense. That's dangerous. That's dangerous to let a team like that hang around who's capable of, in my opinion, doing what Jalen Hurts and Miss Mika, and doing what Lamar Jackson is capable of doing as far as escaping pressure. I'm not saying he's on the same level as them. I'm not saying he's the same threat as them. But when it comes to buying time with his legs, I feel like Kyler Murray is up there with the best. How do you guys feel like we would have to beat this Arizona Cardinals team today?
You want to go first, sir, or you want me to take this?
You go ahead.
Defensively, I think that the ends got to stay disciplined. They got to stay disciplined. They got to stay disciplined. In other words, cover those outsides. And I think the kind of pressure that we are pushing up front is going to bottleneck him every time. I don't think we need to spy him. The defensive line has proven that they can get some good pressure on any quarterback. Let's just go ahead and roll with that philosophy. Make them chuck that ball up early. And be, when I mean be disciplined, I mean get your hands up. Dude is short. He's a short quarterback. So if you get your hands up in them throwing lanes, we disrupting all that shit. I think defensively we got they numbered, and the way Hurts is clicking right now, I don't see this being a tough game. But, oh, my bad. One factor in what I am a little bit concerned about, Jordan's not starting today.
Okay.
So I'm not sure who we got at right tackle.
We got Driscoll. Driscoll held it down last week. You talking about left tackle, right?
Yeah, he played.
Yeah, we got Driscoll. Driscoll solid, bro. Driscoll solid. But in the comments, somebody just said Barnett is out. And he said possible trap game, could be looking ahead to Dallas Sunday night. I believe Sirianni knows how to handle that. Now, speaking of that, Rage, hush. Speaking on that note, Jalen Hurts in the press conference, they asked some questions about everything but the Vikings. I mean, they asked him about everything but the Cardinals, and he made sure he addressed the Cardinals before he left the press conference. He said, we're not going to act like we don't have the Arizona Cardinals coming up. I understand we're doing good, and we're, but we're going this one game at a time, and this is a good team, and we need to focus on the Arizona Cardinals. So Jamal, I believe that the whole team understands that we cannot look past the Arizona Cardinals, and that is from Sirianni. I always say shit rolls downhill, and the way that this team is clicking right now, you got to give Sirianni his props. Chris, what you think we got to do to beat the Cardinals today?
Well, first and foremost, one thing I got to ask, is that the Jamal Jackson who played for the Birds at one point?
No. That's not that Jamal Jackson.
Oh, okay. All right,
that's my cousin Jamal
I was
Jackson.
thinking for a second, I had it on my mind. But, all right, bet. So I think you said it perfectly. What Hurts said earlier in the week is that, we still got the Arizona Cardinals in there, and we still got to focus on them. And I think it's so important to have somebody like that who can have that laser focus, because then everything else could kind of take care of itself. That leads to momentum for them being able to step up in those areas, just like you talked about before, in terms of making sure that they're sound defensively. But I think from not only from a defense, but an offensive perspective, I think the biggest thing to kind of look at here is that they're coming into Arizona, one of the toughest places to play. And they're probably going to be just as much adversity, if not more adversity, what they're going to face this week than what they faced last week, especially since they're playing away.
Right.
But I think as long as they're sound and they play the game that they've been playing for the past few weeks, I don't see why they wouldn't come out of here with a dub. With that being said, though, they do need to start playing better in the second half than they have been. That's one thing that I have noticed. And I think that they're using it to kind of control the clock a little bit because they get up. They haven't been up yet. They haven't been down yet in the first half.
Right.
And if they have, it really wasn't by that much.
Blow somebody out, right?
Yeah. Not only that, I want to see good. I don't want to say good football because I'm not in the league yet, so I want to make sure that I get there to be able to say something like that. But I want to see consistent football based on what they're playing in the first quarter, second quarter, all the way into the third and fourth.
Okay. We do got some questions. Before we get to it, I'm gonna get my take on it, and then we definitely want to talk about that because that definitely was on the topics. I personally believe that on offense, we're going to be straight. The D line, not doing too good against the run. The secondary, not doing too good against the pass. We just played in this nasty weather game. We're going out there in Arizona. I feel like our offense is going to show their ass today.
Facts.
As for defense, I really feel like it's going to be linebacker play. Ray, shut up. I really feel like it's going to be linebacker play. The secondary, they've been holding it down. The D-line, this is where I slightly disagree with you, Roll. I feel like the D-line has to stay aggressive, period. Disciplined and aggressive, but not a laid-back type discipline. I feel like they have to put the pressure on Kyler Murray and make him run out of the pocket.
I agree with that too. Look at how they played at the beginning of the season last year on defense. That's what they were doing.
Because I feel like we're athletic enough on the defense to get to him before he can do too much damage with his legs. You dig what I'm saying? I feel like our secondary can hang with their receiving core enough for our D-line and our linebackers to track him down and have him do what Carson Wentz did, have him do what Kirk Cousins did, and that's throw a couple of balls up for grabs.
And and to add to that point too, it's crazy that you say that because every single week, no matter what level of football you play on, there's always going to be something or some part of your team that isn't going to be operating as efficiently as it was the week before or as capably as they can be week after week. So I think that that's going to have to be an effort done by, say, like the defensive line isn't getting into the quarterback, which every single game they're not going to have the same type of aggression and production, just like any other area on the team, because it's a 17-game season. So, you really want to make sure that if one area isn't holding up, that the back end is taking care of what they need to take care of on a regular basis as well. If the defensive line isn't up to snuff, defensive backfield has to show up and overperform, man.
Off of that point, exactly. That's why I feel like this is the best overall roster we've ever had. This is what we were talking about before you came on, because we're going into week 5 and we watched this team win 4 different ways. We've watched this team put up a bunch of points and win a shootout. Granted, it was against the Lions, but we watched them win a shootout. You dig what I'm saying? We watched the secondary and the offense come up big against the Vikings.
Right.
We watched the special teams against who was that? The other team we played, not the Jaguars.
Who's the third team we played?
Redskins or Commanders.
The Commanders. Well, that was the defense. I can't even say the special teams for that.
That was the defense on that game.
Yeah, that was the defense.
Yep.
The D line, to be exact, because remember we had 9 sacks, and on those 9 sacks, only 2 of them came from a blitz. The rest of it was straight D line pressure. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Last week, we watched the offense get it together and come back from behind, because I don't really feel like the defense ever was really in a situation to not have us down. You dig what I'm saying? That pretty much was the slow start on the offense and then them getting the ball back. You know what I mean? But I feel like the offense really showed, the ability to play from behind last week. So we won 4 different ways thus far. Today, any predictions? I know you said you don't really like to put up the points, Chris, but that's what we do on the show. You got to give us something for the day. Any predictions for the Cardinals game?
Man, anytime I pick them to win, they always lose. So I want them to win. So I'm gonna say.
Don't pick nobody, Chris.
I'm gonna say Cardinals 24-21. I think that they're still gonna play a good game. With that being said, they are playing on the road too. I think that they have to show that they can be consistent on all sides of the ball for an entire game, especially when somebody else is on the shit too.
Before y'all grind him up, understand he's a diehard Eagles fan, and his what is it called when you don't want the what is it called? The jinx?
Superstition.
He's calling off a superstition right now. Roll, don't give me that look, because he stood his ground and he stood 10 toes on everything else until we got to the prediction. You don't want to predict nothing. You want to just even kill the whole game. But anywho, what's your prediction, Roll?
35-17 Eagles.
Woo, that's close to my prediction. That's crazy. Good one.
But I ain't no Eagles fan.
Oh, no. No. It's easy to pick us to win when we undefeated. Here's my prediction. Y'all ready? 42 to 15. Philadelphia. And we won't kick no field goals, all extra points. Elliott is not playing today. We got Dicker the kicker. And hopefully
Pause.
he booms it. Major pause.
Yeah.
Mr. Williams said 34-7, Philadelphia. Big Exclusive has said, where's his prediction go? Where'd it go? 30-17, Arizona. What else we got here? History has to change. No wins in Arizona since 01. Let's go. Oh, there's another. Look at that stat. No wins in Arizona since 2001. That's over 20 years.
That's what I mean. That's
Dang.
what I mean. You have to prove yourself first before you can get that prediction on winning.
Hey, Big Exclusive. The last time you said I ain't take my meds before a prediction, I was damn near spot on. So thank you. Thank you. You know what? Before we dive into that next topic, though, I want to ask Chris this real quick while we're still here. Because our producer is a East Rutherford's Midgets fan. Okay? And I try my hardest to call it logical and even, and he take his shots. You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, they're 3-1 right now. I mean, let's be honest. Everyone's pretty surprised that they're 3-1. If you look at my games that I picked them to win 2 of those games, and 1 week we didn't pick. So I'm picking them logically. But let's keep it all the way funky. Is it the quarterback or is it the running back that has them 3-1 right now? I mean, don't give me the cliche, it's a team effort. We know the team is out there playing. But if you take away the quarterback or the running back, which one turns those W's into L's?
I got to be honest, I haven't really taken too much attention to the Cardinals.
No, the Giants. The Giants.
Oh, the Giants.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the running back.
So
Daniel
how do you
Jones
feel
is
about their
ass.
quarterback?
Daniel Jones is ass, bro.
You think he's ass?
Bro, he's bad.
I love Daniel Jones.
I don't. I think he makes.
I feel like if Daniel Jones,
I think he makes too many damn mistakes. Now the thing is,
I feel like he makes too much mistakes because it's too much on him. It's too much on his plate because it's only him and the running back.
I understand where you're coming from. I do. But I faced a lot of those situations in my career too.
Right.
Where it's like, oh, it's too much on me, too much this, too much that. You know, I'm not gonna go into too many details of it, but you know, as well as everybody else does know that I faced a lot of bullshit in my career.
Right.
That being said, there's still no damn excuse at the end of the day.
Well, Chris, you can't come back
there
for the big exclusive.
The producer didn't like your answer.
I tried
to throw it off the backboard for you.
It's all good. His freedom.
Hey, he said Saquon though. Don't you like Saquon better than Daniel Jones?
Oh yeah.
Come on, Big E. I know you like Saquon better. Now, while we're here, I want to touch on this, and this is amazing because Dag, he had to cut out on this. Well, we can still talk about it.
No, that was Big Shannon. Shannon cut him off.
Oh, don't do that.
You know, Big Shannon cut him off.
Bring him back, Shannon. Oh, he said no, he would never do that. There you go. He's back in.
Petty, bro.
Just had a phone call. All right, so this is what we're going to do, right? The next thing that we want to talk about, this is a little serious note before we get into the rest of the show, which is fun. The main guys that suffer from this, I'll say in this order, is quarterbacks, linebackers, and running backs. The whole concussion situation, the concussion protocol. Chris, how do you feel about the Tua situation? How do you feel about how it was handled by the Miami Dolphins? How do you feel about how it was and is currently being handled by the NFL? This is a bunch of questions, so you can just run it down. How do you feel about the advice of him being convinced to retire at this point? And do you feel he has a lawsuit against the NFL and or the Miami Dolphins for that matter?
All three on that, yes. First point that you brought up, the NFL did mishandle it, and I believe that they grossly mishandled it. I'll touch on that in a little bit after I answer the other points too, because I want to really, really focus in on that. The other part, yes, he should honestly think about retiring, especially after what the doctors kind of came out with in terms of prognosis, because there's too many long-term implications. Sorry, that could be that could be very detrimental. And then the third reason why. What was the third point that you brought up? The last point. If he has a lawsuit? Oh, absolutely, he has a fucking lawsuit.
How do you feel about how the Miami Dolphins handled it? Do you believe that it was strictly on the doctors, or you feel like it was Tua pretty much like, Coach, I could play, and it's like, all right, it was his back, get him out there? Do you feel
this isn't listen, did you see him gimping off against the Bills?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole world saw that. So, I mean, I don't want to hear it's, it's the doctor's fault, it's his fault. No, it's not an individual's fault. This is the Miami Dolphins' fault for that.
Now, going forward, go ahead. What you about to say, Ro?
I agree with CB 100%. Every stitch of it, 100%. Now, and the world saw it.
You play quarterback. I've played a little quarterback. I've been having discussions about the 2 hits that Tua suffered.
Right.
Did you get a chance to look at both of the hits?
The last one.
Okay.
I didn't see in entirety the first one with the Bills.
Okay.
I just saw him get up and knew that he wasn't right. If he's getting up like that and he's stumbling down, no, his dad shouldn't be in the game until he is fully cleared. And even then, give him a week or 2 off.
I'm no expert at CTE. I'm no expert at concussions. I've played my whole life. I've had my share of having my brain rattled and all that. What I will say that I seen in those 2 plays was the harder hit to the head happened in the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he fell in the first game, his head snapped back and the direct back of his head hit the turf. Now, had they kept him out of the game and did the proper concussion protocol, the hit that he suffered in the second game, in my opinion, doesn't give him a seizure and doesn't give him a concussion. Facts. If you look at that hit in the second game, his elbow hit, his shoulder hit, and then his head hit. And I personally feel like it re-aggravated what happened the previous week, which is what locked him up and caused the seizure and all that, which is why, in my opinion, I feel like he should retire.
Yep.
Because that's too much damage, 2 back-to-back to your brain. Now, I believe that I played through a concussion before. Chris, I'm pretty sure you may have played through a concussion before. All quarterbacks have. You dig what I'm saying? And one thing I will say is it's possible to look like you didn't suffer a concussion the next time he hits the field. It's possible for him to have a stretch of games where he looks like MVP, All-Star, might get a yellow jacket. But one more hit, bro. One more hit. And with where this game is today, with the lightweight pads, with the guys being bigger, faster, stronger, he might die, bro. If he takes another hit, he could possibly die on that little warning sign that's on them football helmets, we could actually see it play out, bro. You know what I'm saying? And this is me speaking from an athlete standpoint. If that was my friend, I would tell him to strongly consider retiring and not feel no type of way about it, bro. Like, don't feel like you're less of a man. Don't feel like you're missing out on anything because that brain ain't nothing to play with, bro. We was just talking about earlier, Andre Waters. Major piece to Philadelphia defense. We always had pretty decent safeties. He was the first number 20 that I knew of, and not too long ago, he killed himself.
Yeah,
and they found out that he had
same shit.
Junior Seau.
You
know what I'm saying?
Favorite player.
It's a lot of players that go through this. As a football player, I feel like we all have some level of CTE, which is why we have short temper. You know what I'm saying? A lot of football players have short temper in intimate situations, bro. No, that's real rap. It's real rap.
Yo, I'm laughing because it's the fucking truth.
Yeah,
it is.
It's the fucking truth.
And Trey, that's a good point that you bring up too, because just to be transparent, I have a therapist that I work with on a day-to-day, on a week-to-week basis, to kind of sort through like my bullshit and what I'm dealing with on a day-to-day. And I think that's so true in a sense of, you know, the CTE issue is so underlined, especially with what football players already have to deal with, that there's also not a lot of mental help being done enough to help, you know, kind of make the situation a little bit easier. I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons why I've been able to extend my career, is because maybe the hits may have affected me over time, but having a therapist to kind of work me through that situation and help me with my mental health, I think has been super, super important. I think that needs to be addressed too in the NFL in order to kind of sustain players' careers over time.
Go ahead, bro.
The one thing I will say on a side note, and if I'm wrong, fellas, jump in there and dispute it. I don't know of no football player on any level, high school, semi-pro, pro, that's actually going to admit when they're hurt. They're not going to do it.
Fact.
He could be dizzy as hell. And if the coach asked him, "Are you cool to go back in?" he going back in.
I agree with
you. That's why I blame it on the Miami Dolphins organization. So they should have pulled the trigger on sitting his ass down.
Shit, I tried to come back in when I tore my ACL.
Yeah, listen. Now, that's what I was about to say. I agree with you 100%, Ro.
Yes,
but
sir.
as Big Exclusive touched on too, this is the pros, bro. You know what I mean? And it's certain signs that we've learned mean certain things. You dig what I'm saying? The way we watched Tua walk off the field, he shouldn't have went back into that game. The casual fan understood that in 2022. Now, back in 1998, they would have handled that differently. You dig what I'm saying? In 1998, they would have handled that differently. In 1988, they would have handled it differently. Hold on. People never care about the long-term part of it is players won't say when they need it because they don't want to miss out on the game. I agree with that, Mr. Richardson, but like I said, I believe it's too many things in place right now that we have these signs to know.
Facts.
Fine example. You was just talking about, you said your ACL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Carson Wentz, if y'all remember when he was here and he took that hit, I believe, against the Rams, and it messed up his ACL.
He tore another ligament too.
If you watch him walking before he points down at his knee, his leg buckles backwards. You dig what I'm saying?
Yep.
The casual fan might not recognize that, but us that have played, we know what that means. So these trainers, they know what that meant. Carson Wentz, he knew what that meant. When that leg buckled backwards, he pointed to his knee to the sideline like, yo. You dig what I'm saying? So, Jason Richardson, I agree with the old football. I feel like now there's no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse unless it's something, maybe a fractured rib. You dig what I'm saying? I think maybe a fractured rib you could possibly cover and say, oh, I got the wind knocked out of me or something like that before it actually starts showing signs throughout the game. But all the other major injuries, we pretty much have signs that let you know when somebody's pushing through or they're at risk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I definitely agree that the Miami Dolphins is at fault. I agree that the NFL is at fault. Even if Tua was being that player that says, put me in, coach, I could just tough it out. I believe that we're at a point in football where it should have been no. Also, when his back was messed up, he hit it until he couldn't no more. Who we speaking about?
Wentz.
But did he hide it or did the team assist him? We're talking about accountability here. Did he hide it by himself or was he assisted?
Facts.
You dig what I'm saying? Because we know about them shots, the cortisone and all that stuff. You dig what I'm saying? The players ain't shooting themselves up.
And at the end of the day, too, that's a business the NFL is trying to run at the end of the day. So if you don't have your marquee players in there, ticket sales go down, especially if they're not playing good football.
True indeed. Now, it's time for our next segment. Big Roll, we went through these last night. Chris, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Chris?
I'm 28.
28. Okay, so you may not know some of these players. How far back does your history go on the Philadelphia Eagles football?
Well, when I said I really wanted to play in the NFL when I was 11 years old, I became obsessed with it, especially the historical side. So there's really not a lot that I don't know about the Eagles.
Hey, so we might got one here. We might got one here. All right, so this segment is called Who's the Man? People in the comments, feel free to answer also. And what we're going to do is we're going to put up 5 ex-Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? We about to test that, Chris.
You said 5 ex-Eagles, right?
We're going to put up 5 ex-Eagles.
All right, bet.
And I need you guys to name them. Can we get the first one up?
It can't be like minuscule either. Like
they significant, sir.
Reggie White. The first year he wore 91.
Woo! From the rip.
Yep.
From the rip. And they put the hardest one up first. You're going to get the rest.
Mm-hmm. Right,
can we get the next one?
Wes Hopkins.
Woo! Can we get the next one?
Jim McMahon.
We knew he was going to get that one. I mean,
why?
he's a quarterback.
Maybe we should have waited for the heroes for him. The next one.
Chris Carter.
This is the last one. You're going to get this one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Herm Edwards.
Hey, Chris, man, you went through that too fast, bro. You went through that too fast. I wish I had the other ones edited up so we.
Oh my God!
Okay.
I was about to say that, Pop. Like, give him the other ones, man. Shit.
Yeah, that shit was easy.
I don't know. Hey, Big E, you ain't load them into the machine, did you? If he loaded them into the machine, we might got to go through the other ones real quick until we get one that he don't know.
All right,
yeah.
5 of 5 made it look easy.
Hey,
He made it look too easy, man.
CB, that was impressive, dog. I ain't gonna lie.
Appreciate you, bro.
Here's
the thing. I like everybody. I think I saw it in the comments before. I'm a Pigeon fan. No, far from it. I ain't no Pigeon fan. I know my history. I'm just a football player who's made it to the pro level.
Hey, listen. So this was about to happen. He about to pull out. So for the bye week, hold on 1 second. Let me. For the bye week, we was pulling out some forgotten heroes, and I was going to do 10. I didn't get a chance to edit them up, but I shared them in the group chat last night. Our producer is bringing them in 2 weeks ahead of time because you flew through all these players, bro. I didn't even get a chance to edit these players, so you're going to see the actual pictures without them removed. And we're going to go – hopefully you don't go through all 10. but we're going to go through these until we come to one that you don't know. If we go through all 10, I'm going to have to find 10 more for the bye week because I really didn't expect this. Hey, Chris, bro, you showing me something today, good brother.
Yeah.
You showing me something today, especially when you said 28. I'm like, oh, he ain't going to know these old people. Huh? What's up?
Should we ask the people in the comment section first before we let Chris answer?
Well, they ain't have a chance to answer.
No, Chris, this is about your ass. This is about your ass. Give him the next picture,
hey, listen.
man.
And besides, we got a guest that's hanging around for the rest of the show. We got to, you know what I mean?
Doubt.
But
no doubt.
He was answering them. We only had one response in the comments. And the response came after Chris already answered. I'm not saying he copied off of Chris. That's my cousin. I'm pretty sure he knew who it was. But by the time he could type it in and it could register into the comments, Chris had already said it. You know what I'm saying?
He should have known that Reggie White, man. He should have known that Reggie White quick, too. Like that's Reggie
a lot
White
of people don't know he wore 91.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they loaded in. You ready for this, Chris? Yeah, these are hard. These are hard.
Pause.
Pause. Yeah, pop it up there, Big Scoop.
Is that Byron Evans?
Ooh! Can we get the next one?
Oh man, I know this one. Goddamn. It's not Charlie Garner. I know that.
Nah. This is actually before we drafted Charlie Garner. This is before Ricky Waters came over from San Francisco.
Damn, I know this one too. Off
the bench, he started shining.
I know. I can't. I know what you're talking about. What was it? 92.
He played up to. I think he played with us until 93.
Possibly.
Okay. Shit, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anybody in the comment section?
No, he sure.
Somebody said Schuler. Somebody said Tony, and they both wrong.
Not he sure.
I feel dope. I feel dope, Pop, because I got it last night.
Yeah, you got it. Hey, you know what? Since we got him up here, we're gonna rock through all of them. I'll find some more for the bye week.
Damn.
All right, this is Heath Sherman.
Heath Sherman.
Sherman.
I remember that.
Next one, please.
That. Give me a second. Damn. Some of these dudes I really don't know. I had to scroll in.
These are forgotten heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Because they definitely played big parts when they was here. They weren't here that long. They were legends on other teams. You know what I mean?
Damn, I don't know this one.
Go ahead, Big Roll. You want to say who it is?
I'm gonna go to the comment section. I want to see who anybody in the comments got it first.
Who's this big number 93 right here? He played linebacker for us.
I'm not sure.
Jamal Jackson.
Jamal got it.
He got an idea, but he don't know the name.
Oh.
No, it's not Brandon Whiting. It's not Williams. Lashia, what's up, sis? Stand tall. What's up, good brother? No, it's not Brandon Whiting. Or Winton.
Y'all give?
Go ahead, Big Roll. Tell them who it is.
That's LaVon Kirkland.
Yeah.
Damn, for real? Well, no. Now you said you played linebacker, right?
Yep.
At Pittsburgh. Yep.
So I remember that. So it was him, Kevin Green, and then I forget the other one.
Green, Kirkland, Porter. No.
No. Porter came after.
Yeah, Porter was
little muscular dude. I forgot his name.
No, not Harrison either.
No.
Next picture up. Next picture, please.
Cool.
Oh damn. Yeah, I don't know this one. Man, these are
the forgotten heroes. I knew this.
Shout out to Pop. Yeah. Shout out to Pop, man. You made some good choices.
He did. I didn't know these ones.
But you know what's crazy though? CB, you do know it. You do know it.
You know.
Man. Greg Lloyd.
Come on, answer it in the comment sections. Come on, y'all.
Is it Greg Lloyd?
No. That was Greg Lloyd. Was the other linebacker from Pittsburgh.
There you go, Mr. Williams. Vaughn Hebron. Yes, sir.
Hey, man.
Yes, I heard about him.
Man, proud of you, man.
Vaughn Hebron. Next picture, please.
Oh, Dorsey Levens.
Oh, right
Nice.
off the gun bust. Dorsey
Nice.
Levens, yes, sir. Next one.
Well, that's Troy Vincent in the back. I know that, but I don't
Yup.
know 45.
How about this? He's our current safeties coach.
Damn, didn't know that.
Safeties coach.
He currently coaches our safeties right now.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know. I don't know.
When Brian Dawkins was hurt, he came in and he laid the wood. He's the one that ended Michael Irvin's career
Hitter.
at the vet.
Oh,
Michael Irvin seen him coming and he ducked and he jammed his head into the turf.
Are you talking about?
No, it's not Garrity.
No, it's a different one. Forget his name. I know who you're talking about though.
Come on in the comments section.
Yeah, I'm gonna need help with this one.
Number 45. He played during the Andy Reid era. I think he was here for about 2 years. And he's currently our, don't Google it.
Right.
He's
That's
currently
at a time
the
limit
coach
on
of our
that.
safeties.
I ain't
Yeah.
doing it. I'm not sure about this one.
10, 9, 8, 7,
I don't know.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is Tim Houck.
I would have never
Tim
guessed that.
Houck. That boy can hit. When I say that little boy can hit, he was small, but he can hit. Look at Lucia. I was about to Google. Next picture, please. Come on, y'all. This is easy. Look at his face.
Mark Rippon?
Yep, Mark Rippon.
Yeah.
The missile, Mark Rippon.
That's an ugly motherfucker, boy.
No.
Hey, man, don't be talking about my Native American brother.
Reno Mahe.
Yep, Reno Mahe, the other giant killer. Next up.
Freddie Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Next up.
Blyce Ekahema.
Yes, sir. Some of y'all might know him from Channel 10.
Yep.
Next up. I think we got like one or two more.
I can't see it.
No, it didn't pop up yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be it. That was it. That was 10.
Yep.
Damn, we went through 10. Well,
I got like 7, I think. That's
you got
right.
7 of the forgotten heroes. I think you got 6.
Yeah, I got about. I got 7.
I think that's it.
Then you put up 9, not 10.
It wasn't 10. All right, yeah. Somebody was missing, but that's cool. Good job, Chris. That was a good job. That was a good job.
That was
that
dope,
was
man.
fast, right, Lachey? That was kind of
Got
fast.
like 12 or 15. That's all right.
So we typically do open convo the remainder of the show.
Mm-hmm.
One part that we forgot though. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you. One part that we forgot was football for dummies.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do we want to explain this week? Any ideas?
How about we let my man CB take over and whatnot this week?
All right, bet. So, when you look at football, especially when you're looking at the defensive side of the football, a lot of times, especially what we're seeing now, especially from that last game where Russell Wilson hit or missed Hamler in the end zone wide open. A lot of times fans don't really focus on progression of each individual football play that's called in a game, especially the way the quarterback is being taught. So, that being said, go over different coverages, just universal, like everybody sees this of how a defense plays. Now, mind you, what the defensive line does is going to be different based on the scheme that they want to accomplish. They could stunt, they could go right up the middle, or they can go around. But when you're talking about everything from the 7 other guys and what they're doing, breaking down everything, when we see these 5 different coverages, this is how you know a defense is playing a certain individual receiver or a certain individual team. So when you go cover 0, that safety is now going to roll down to either the slot receiver or they can spy the running back or potentially serve as a blitzer. But they're going to send 6 guys, no matter what.
Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
What?
Chris, this is illegal procedure on you.
Why? Because it's too broad.
Football for dummies. We have some women. We have women watching. And when you say the safety rolls down to the slot receiver, just short-circuited their brain.
Oh yeah, I forgot. My fault. Okay. Well, I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be like Cam Newton and be like, yeah, that's funny. A woman, nah, stupid.
Like when I say like football for dummies, I'm talking about 4 or 5-year-old, bro.
All right, bet. Okay. So did you go over downs, like first down, second down, third down, fourth down?
Yeah, we went over downs. We went over heads, tails, and deferring the call. Let me see. Let's go over.
I got one. So ways that teams can score and the types of points that they can score.
Did we went over the types of points they can score?
Oh, they did.
We did. We went over that in the what 2 points, 3 points, 6 points, what all the points was worth. Here you go. Could you explain the 2-minute warning? Explain when it happens, and explain like the crunch time, the sense of urgency that the 2-minute warning creates.
So there's 2 2-minute warnings in a game. There's one that comes right before the end of the second quarter, and then there's one that comes right before the end of the game. The crunch situation and the crunch moment and the reason why things need to be done in a certain amount of time can either depend on whether you want to gain momentum for your team, you want to create confidence, you want to create positivity going into the ultimately second half or beginning of third quarter of the game. Or it could be you're trying to score a certain amount of points to get down from a certain deficit or get down from a certain lead that you don't have at that given time. So that being said, you don't huddle up most of the time. You're right back on the ball. And the quarterback or coach is going to signal to the receivers, to the offense, to the quarterback, to the lineman, the specific place that they can get going. And then the quarterback can either do about 3 things. He can either complete the ball, drive the ball down the field. If he needs to stop the clock and they don't have any timeouts, he can take the ball from the center, throw it down right away, stop the clock. Or if they're trying to chew up clock, quarterback could ultimately take a sack. So that way there's time expiring from the clock.
Got you. Quick scenario. 1 minute and 13 seconds left on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth quarter. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're down by 4. We're at the opponent's 38-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Elliott, under his current condition,
mm-hmm.
is your kicker. You call the play, Chris.
How much time is left?
Man, in fact, I'm gonna take more time off. We got 9 seconds left on the clock. We're at the opponent's 38-yard line. We're down by 4 in the fourth quarter.
All right, bet. So what I would like to call, and no timeouts left, right?
1 timeout left.
1 timeout?
One
All
timeout.
right, so based on who we have at quarterback, we could do 1 or 2 things.
You're at quarterback.
I'm a quarterback. Oh,
You're at quarterback, and I'm telling you to call it from the. What do you want? Remember how Foles came off and said you want Philly, and
no.
Yeah.
So we could do 1 or 2 things with me playing quarterback. We could either run a seam comeback concept, which again, am I explaining to a wide group audience this?
No, go ahead and explain it as you will right now, because now it's
bet.
me asking you as a quarterback.
Okay, bet. So we could either run a seam or comeback concept. So that way you can look touchdown to check down. So you have your seam. You want to score right away, you can do that. If you want to hit the comeback, you can. And at the very least, if you can't make the comeback throw, you just throw it out of bounds at that point. Okay. And then you can trot your kicker onto the field to try a field goal. Or what
You're
we
down
could
by
do,
4.
down by, yeah, I know. Oh, wait, yeah. I'm sorry. We're down by 4. Hold on. Or what we can do, since we have our timeout left, we could run a waggle. So you have a crosser coming underneath, you have a 3 to 5 yard like ribbon route, and then you have a vertical. The way that vertical can be thrown is you can throw it towards the sideline where you can keep a receiver in bounds and then not take that timeout left. And that play could develop like another 5 or 6 seconds, which you could then generate a run play and then call a timeout right away, depending on how long the run is. But if you have that crosser underneath, you can still hit that crosser coming underneath, and then you can call a timeout right away. But then that way, you're a little closer towards the end zone if for whatever reason you're, gain yards, but you're not in the end zone as of yet. So there's multiple things that you can do, because essentially, even though it looks like you have one play left because you got 9 seconds on the board, you really have 2 plays left, especially since you have that timeout.
Maybe
So
maybe 3, right? Possibly
exactly.
3.
Exactly.
That's a good read. I heard some things that I would want to do, and I heard some things that I wouldn't want to do. The way I would handle it, or I would want you to handle it if you was playing for me. Go ahead, Big Roll. You going to tell me? I didn't know you played quarterback. I thought you played line.
I do, but I could think.
Well, your only job in a 2-minute warning is to get to the quarterback.
Hey, man.
But since you feel left out, since you want to be my 345-pound quarterback, tell me what you would do with 11 seconds left on the clock. We're down by 4 at the opponent's 38-yard line.
Empty backfield. Isolate my best wide receiver by himself. Take a shot downfield. Look for the pass interference.
Yeah. And we lose.
Hey, man.
That's one way you can. And honestly, that's what I was thinking of. I was thinking about saying the same exact thing too. Because if you do isolate your best receiver out there, it's either him or the DB. And at the very least, if you're not able to get that PI call, there's still 9 seconds left on the board.
So from your first play, that's what you want to do.
So there's 9 seconds left on the board, and that play within itself is not going to take up an entire 9 seconds.
Okay, so what I would want to hear done, or what I would think would be done, is
2020.
You take a shot down by the sideline.
Yeah.
You gotta get out of bounds to try to cut that 38 yards in half.
Yeah. So depending on where my best receiver is. So if I have him running vertical to the right side, what I'll do is I'll look him off vertical, but I'll have a deep over route come across the opposite side. So now you have that vertical coming right up there.
Right.
And for whatever reason, that DB doesn't bite on that vertical, you still got that deep over coming underneath. What you do is you
and that's why I said that's why I agree with you. That's the point where I agree with you. But my whole thing is I want to shave that down, get another first down, and then isolate my receiver. You dig what I'm saying? Because at that point in time, we're down to about what?
3 seconds.
No, at the one play? At the one play and you get out of bounds?
You said it's 9 seconds on the clock, right?
And now we're down to at the about 12-yard line.
Yeah.
And you said it's about 3 seconds left. I think we could probably possibly about 3
seconds. 3 seconds left on the clock. Then that's when you can isolate your best receiver.
Yeah. But I definitely
your two best guys on the same side.
From the gun bust, I'm not taking that deep shot all the way for the points. With one timeout, with 9 seconds, we at the 38-yard line. That means we're just in field goal range, but we're not taking the field goal. You dig what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to cut that field in half and then take my shots in the end zone. You know what I mean? Similar to what the Falcons tried to do to us that year we went to the Super Bowl when they went to Julio in the back corner of the end zone.
Oh yeah.
Very similar to that.
Oh yeah.
We got 5 minutes left. Let's go through this real quick.
Yeah, my phone's about to die too.
All right, that's cool. We're gonna go through this real quick. Lions, Patriots. Who you got?
Yeah.
Lions.
Nah, you know what? I'm gonna say Pats.
I'm gonna go with Pats.
I got a lot of
Chargers,
respect for
Browns.
Bill Belichick.
Chargers.
You said Chargers who?
Browns.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Chargers.
I think I'm gonna go with the Browns because I'm not quite sure Herbert is all the way back yet, and they're playing in Cleveland. Texans, Jaguars.
Jags.
Falcons, Bucks. They're in Tampa.
Oh, Bucks.
Go with the Bucks.
Tampa, yes sir. Steelers, Bills in Buffalo.
Bills.
Go with the Bills.
Likewise. Dolphins, Jets in New York.
Jets.
I think I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to make it happen. Bears, Vikings. They're in Minnesota.
Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings. Titans, Commanders in Washington.
I'm saying
Titans, yes sir. Seahawks, Saints in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks. 49ers, Panthers in Carolina.
Yeah, 49ers.
49ers.
This is sweet.
49ers, okay. Eagles, Cardinals, we already, you picked the Cardinals for the sake of, and we going with the Eagles. Okay, Cowboys, Rams.
I'm going to say the Rams.
Where?
In L.A.
Rams.
I'm going to go with the Rams too. Bengals, Ravens.
Ravens.
I'm going to say Ravens too.
I think the Bengals pull it off in Baltimore. Nice. I feel like the Bengals pull it off in Baltimore. Raiders, Chiefs.
Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going to say Raiders.
That's crazy. We all picking the Raiders for the upset?
Mm-hmm.
Raiders for the upset. Hey,
yes,
Chris,
sir.
I thank you for your time, bro. It was a pleasure having you on the show. You're more than welcome to come back, man. We're here until the end of the season.
Absolutely, bro. Appreciate you having me, for real.
Everybody in the comments, make sure y'all tune in each and every Sunday to Philadelphia Eagles Game Day Special with me, Big Roll, Angry OG. Hey, Big Roll, you want to roll through the list of shows that we have on the network?
After you check us out, man, at 10 a.m., you got to see my man Poppy Montega, 9 p.m. Buckle up, wild show. Monday through Friday, you got Keeping It Real with Big Roll in the morning at 9 a.m. Get your day started off to a positive start. Get a smile on your face, get you a good laugh. Monday nights, you got Think Different TV with my girl, Ashia. Great topics, great gal. Make sure you check her out when her energy is always up. Tuesdays, you got The Big Ticket, the big exclusive podcast. Angry OG, my man, Big Shannon, Tyrese Top Flight. That's the one right there, folks. That's the must see. Can't miss it. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Wednesdays, we got the Rabbit Hole 13, hosted by Warren C. Muir, Bianca Monroe, my man Taj Mahal. Great cast, dope topics. Make sure you check them out. Show them some love. 9 p.m. every Wednesday.
Call him Mr. Cheese. Sorry, I had to say it.
Nice. Thursdays, it's time to talk dirty. Foreplay with B, hosted by my girl Bianca Monroe. You never know what she gonna be talking about on that show. Definitely check it out. B's here for the ladies, and the fellas will have a good time. You tune in as well. Fridays and whatnot, we ended off with Keeping It Real with Big Roll in the morning, 9 a.m. End your week off, send you to the weekend with some good vibes. And on Saturdays or whatnot, you can check out our other YouTube programming. You got Fat Gene Activated with Big Shannon, my man Angry OG, going to different spots, different cuisines. Definitely a must for all fat people. And I'm a number one fan. So make sure you check them out, y'all. And that's the run through.
Hey, Big Roll.
Yes, sir.
Before we go, right? What you think should go on for tonight's show? Should we have Brethren Samuels make an appearance, or what should we do? Like, should we learn something tonight? Should we have fun tonight? Should we talk about something serious tonight? Because I ain't gonna hold you. Like, this week been such a mess. I ain't really had time to, you know what I mean?
Brethren, not for nothing, Brethren put it down on my show Friday morning. So if I had to throw some money at it, I would say, teach them something tonight, Pop.
So teach them something. Big Exclusive said they want Brethren. How about this? I'll have Brethren teach y'all something tonight. Cuffs. Go Birds. We out.
Out of room for dick riders too. Ain't no more room left. So if you playing the dick ride, a little late.
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, fight, fight. Yo, we going all the way this year, man. We going all the way this year. Philadelphia Eagles.